we also, well, one of the things we were talking about in the sort of what felt like the inevitable Biden stepping down was the inability of Republicans to constrain themselves and find a narrative in which they could attack Kamala Harris without it being sort of nakedly misogynistic or racist. And it took like all of 36 hours, not even. Was it 28 hours? 26 hours? I don't know.
We'll be safe and say less than 48 hours. Let's give the Republicans their due. They bit their tongue for a full 2 days almost.
Here, let's start with Tim Burkett. Tim Burkett, he was one of the guys, didn't like Kevin McCarthy, like punch him in the kidney or something like that when he was talking to somebody.
Why'd you deck me, Kevin?
Oh, right. Those were fun.
Those were fun times. Here is Tim Burkett telling CNN's Manu Raju why he believes Kamala Harris was selected as the nominee.
Biden said, first off, he said he's going to hire a black female for vice president, and that he just skipped over. What about white females? What about any other group? When you go down that route, you take mediocrity, and that's what they have right now as a vice president.
So are you suggesting she was a DEI hire?
100%. She was a DEI hire. He said he was going to hire, and she didn't. Her record is abysmal at best.
We know that.
Okay. I mean, let's just, it is true that Joe Biden said that he was going to pick an African-American female when he was choosing a vice president. But the implication is, of course, that there's no women of color who were eligible to be vice president. If there is a single person in the sound of my voice who thought for one moment that Donald Trump was going to pick anybody but a white guy for his VP.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm the guy who thinks Mike Pence was the best at vice presidenting, and that's why he got picked.
Well, this is a guy who was 40% approval rating in Indianapolis as the governor when he was picked.
In Indiana, yeah.
In Indiana, right.
Right. And everyone is joking, oh, Kamala's, they're, they have these photos of racks of wine that say like not uninteresting whites or subtle whites, interesting whites or something like that for wines, and saying this is Kamala's selection for VP is because it's all but understood that she's probably going to select a white person.
This has always been American politics. It's just a problem when it's black people.
Yes, right. Wanted a white person for his VP to balance out the fact that he was black. So we picked a guy that had a bit of a history of cozying up to Strom Thurmond and some racially insensitive remarks in the past, to put it mildly, for Joe Biden. So was that a DEI hire? Was it?
I mean, every hire, every decent hire is a DEI hire because you are trying to make up, you are trying to balance a ticket. You're trying to, you're trying to get a ticket that's going to be as representative as possible for your constituencies. Now, to be fair to the Republicans, they are an overwhelmingly white party. I mean, overwhelming. They have one identity. That's it. Under their, now, to be fair, again, it goes from like horribly racist to just not terribly concerned about somebody who might be racist. So there is a spectrum within this. But you want to talk about, identity politics. That is the Republican Party. They are made up of one identity. I mean, 90%.
Well, I mean, you got the fundamentalists, you got the capitalists, and you got the racist identities among that. But yeah, you should speak to one of those.
Three different types of
That's
white,
what we call a melting pot. Why do you hate America, Sam?
But now a lot of people are probably saying, well, Tim Burkett, he's a backbencher. He's just the type of guy that Kevin McCarthy would shove in the kidney while he was being interviewed with somebody. Here's J.D. Vance, who has come up with a more nuanced way of saying that, of finding how to fit into the tradition of the Republican Party, all the way back when Ronald Reagan made his announcement at the Neshoba County Fair, which was a couple miles from where some civil rights workers had been murdered in the 60s. And he talked about states' rights. And how do we reference Ronald Reagan's welfare queen meme, essentially, that it ran on? Well, J.D. Vance is here to show you what the modern Republican Party says.
I don't know Kamala. I served in the United States Marine Corps, and I built a business. What the hell have you done other than collect a government check for the past 20 years?
He's literally applying to do her job. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is...
But I want to say, my friends, whether it's Kamala Harris or anybody else, it's the same Democrat machine. It's the same lies and corruption.
We don't need to hear that. I mean, he made his point. I don't know who he thinks pays the military.
Right.
It's not Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel just basically paid for the rest of what he did. But yes, it is true that when you are an attorney general, the government pays you. When you're vice president or a senator, the government pays you.
What business?
What's that?
Sorry, what business did JD Vance? Like a venture capital firm? Like that's parasitical. I'm sorry. I don't respect that. Sorry.
But the point is, he's not really trying to say that she is a lifetime politician, because he could say that.
Yeah.
Right.
He's using he's implying that she's just getting some type of government handout.
Like almost like, someone who's on welfare and is a woman and is just like taking from the government all the time. Where have we seen a welfare queen trope deployed before in Republican politics?
And if you'll recall in the voiceover for J.D. Vance's montage at the RNC, a big thing was, him availing himself of the GI Bill to go to undergraduate.
Right?
Oh yeah. Well, incidentally, yes. Like I say, when you're a Marine, Peter Thiel is not the one who's paying you. He got confused. But there it is. There's going to be more of that. At one point, the Republicans will stop talking about Joe Biden, where being an AI, and maybe he hasn't been alive for all we know for 8 years, 10 years. And then they'll move on to starting to figure out how they can criticize Kamala Harris in a way that's going to resonate with their people. And that's a preview of it.
Yeah, I'll believe J.D. Vance is anti-war when he says that there's another way to get free college besides joining the Marines.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.